What's up, friends and fellow collectors? Andy Drifter here with my latest installment of Card Show Pickups. Got 6 cards to share with you in this video, starting off with this rated rookie of Jordan Love of the Packers. Now, when he was initially drafted, there were some doubts. Will he be the successful successor to Aaron Rodgers? And I do believe he put all the doubts to rest last season. He led the Packers to a wild card spot. 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he ran in for 4 touchdowns, all the while running for almost 250 yards. If you remember, the Packers dog-walked the Cowboys in the wild card round of the playoffs, and they almost beat the Niners in the divisional round. So, needless to say, the Packers are in good hands with Jordan Love. I'll be sending this card to get graded. When I get it back, I will share the results with you. I started smiling from ear to ear when I saw this card. You are looking at the Angels Rally Monkey from Topps opening day. He was first introduced to the Anaheim crowd in 2000, and 2 years later, the Angels beat the Giants in the World Series. If you are old enough to remember that series, it was all about Barry Bonds that year. They were favored to win, and they were winning. Game 6, Giants up 3-2, and they were winning 5-0. And the Angels rallied back, won that game, and subsequently won Game 7 and won the World Series. And one might say that the Rally Monkey had a small role in that World Series winning effort. Fast forward to present time, there has been very little to rally about or around in Anaheim. This year they were playing 500 ball, but they have dropped 4 straight. And the Angels, they have been in a perpetual rebuilding phase. But I wanted to share this card with you. Cute little guy there. I don't know if he belongs to someone or if they just sort of rent him out from the zoo. But there it is, card number 2, the Rally Monkey. Sometimes the word legend is just thrown around too carelessly, but not in this case. This man was a comedy legend. You are looking at a Star Picks card of the late, great, incomparable Chris Farley. Here he is, featured from his days on SNL, back when SNL was actually worth watching. He had this recurring skit on the show called The Chris Farley Show, where he would interview celebrities and come off as incredibly awkward. People that were close to Farley would say that's kind of how he was in real life behind closed doors. He was just an awkward guy, but when the cameras were on and the lights came on, man, oh man, he was in a class all by himself, especially when it came to physical comedy. Would you believe that I scored this card in a dollar bin? Black Sheep, Beverly Hills Ninja, Tommy Boy, 3 of my all-time favorite comedies. There will never be another one like him. Unfortunately, behind those very same closed doors, he was battling some demons that got the best of him during the height of his success. And in 1997, shortly after the release of Beverly Hills Ninja, Farley, he succumbed to a drug overdose and taken away from us much too soon. Now, there is a biopic in the works. I do believe it's going to come out later on this year. I don't know the title of it, but it's going to star the wonderful, the savagely underrated Paul Walter Hauser. If you have not seen I, Tonya or Richard Jewell, I suggest you check those movies out if you want to get a glimpse into Hauser and his work. I'm sure the movie is going to cover some of the dark stuff, but I do believe, from what I've been reading, it's going to portray Farley's life in a balanced way, show the highs and the lows. I'm interested to see his rise to fame and maybe some of the preparation that went into some of his comedy roles. I'm going to send this card off to get graded. I don't care if it comes back as a 1. This card is for my PC, and it is definitely worthy of being slabbed. But yeah, that is the 3rd card I have for you. A Star Picks card of the one and only Chris Farley. Next up is a Green Mojo Refractor rookie card, number 299 of one of the game's exciting young players, Josh Young. In his brief MLB career, he has accomplished quite a bit. Made an all-star team, slugged over 20 home runs in his first full season, finished in 4th place in last year's AL Rookie of the Year voting, and oh, by the way, he already got himself a World Series ring. He was an important part of that Rangers team last year who won their first ever World Series in franchise history. And all throughout last postseason, Josh Young hit over 300. This year, he got off to a great start. He was batting over 400 when he was drilled in the wrist and he's going to be out 6 weeks, give or take. Last year, he suffered a freak injury to his thumb, which caused him to miss some games and possibly cost him that AL Rookie of the Year award. Nonetheless, that Rangers team is rife with talent, and they are in a weak division at the moment anyway. So there's enough firepower in that lineup, I think, to keep the Rangers afloat and atop that AL West. And the same surgeon who performed the procedure on Young's thumb last year will be doing the procedure on his wrist. So he seems to be in good hands. He'll be back and better than ever. I'll send this card off to get graded, and let's see how it comes back. Another one of the game's brightest young stars is Luis Robert, a.k.a. La Pantera. Here he is featured on this 2018 Bowman High-Tech card. It is an on-card auto. He's got a few accomplishments on his resume thus far. He is a Gold Glove winner, runner-up to the 2020 AL Rookie of the Year award. Last year made his first All-Star appearance and finished the season with 38 home runs and 80 RBIs. Now, this year, his power numbers were halfway decent. The batting average was kind of low before he suffered a hip flexor strain. I think I'm getting that right. He's going to miss upwards of 2 months. He was one of the few bright spots on that White Sox team who is not just bad. They are on their way to becoming historically bad, possibly the worst team ever in MLB history. Unfortunately for El Bob, he is stuck with them for at least another year. He is signed through the end of the 2025 season. Hopefully he can make his way out of the South Side and go to a winning franchise and get some more exposure. I think a lot of fans are unaware of this great young talent known as La Pantera. I might send this off to get graded. It's not numbered, but great looking card, and the colors of it would complement an SGC slab very nicely. I came across this vendor who had several piles of $10 slabs, and as I was going through them, I came across this gem right here. This is a Razor Cut auto of best-selling author Dean Koontz, and as you can see on the right, it is certified by Beckett. I'm 44 years old now. I've always been an avid reader, not so much with books these days, but in my 20s, I'd read several books a week. Back then, my guy was John Grisham. I was a huge John Grisham fan, but a close second, in my opinion, in those days, was Dean Koontz. Now, those two are different in terms of their writing styles as well as their subject matter. John Grisham, he is more of a crime novelist, whereas Dean Koontz, there are elements of crime, but more so of horror, sci-fi, fantasy that are incorporated into his many bestsellers. And at 78 years old, he is still going strong, churning out books yearly, and which each release, they always seem to find their way atop of the New York Times bestseller list. And that is it. That is the final card that I have to share with you in this video. If you're still around, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your Monday night and have a fabulous week.